Hey everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel. I'm Heather and today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the items I sewed for the month of March. Now it was a really busy month. I think I stayed with fairly simple makes this month because for whatever reason, the month of January just totally kicked my butt. So I took a little bit of a breather minus one item. That's also probably part of why I stuck with so many simple items this month because one of the items probably took about 2 weeks from start to finish, which we will talk about when I get to that particular piece. Now I just have everything here on the rack in the order that I did the projects. And I do have one other thing I'll show you at the end that is related, but not exactly a make. So let's just dive right in with the first item. All right, so the first piece I made is this corset style belt from Sew It Academy, and it's gonna be a little bit hard to show here. I will insert some footage for you, but it is a corset style belt, and I was really excited to try this accessory. I originally had planned to do just a solid fabric of some sort, and then when I saw this print, I completely fell in love. It was a remnant fabric from one of my local stores here, and I snagged it so fast. I don't know what happened, what came over my body, but I saw this and I thought this is gonna be perfect for this corset belt. I'm not exactly sure what the makeup of this fabric is as it was a remnant, but it's got a little bit of like either a stretched denim or twill sort of a feel. It's pretty weighty, so I did think the weight would be good for this. And originally I thought I would put like gold grommets and things on it, but then I had found a belt buckle locally and it had silver as part of it, so I just was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go with the silver then. Well, then that buckle just barely didn't work, so I had to order a different buckle. So it was a little bit of an adventure getting this complete, but I ended up finding this Art Deco style belt, which I actually really like. So it was kind of a happy accident that it worked out that way. This was a really easy and quick sew, aside from just trying to wait for some of the pieces I needed to come in, the belt buckle specifically. And I do have plans to make another one in just like a solid khaki color. Now I thought, I don't really have anything to put this on with right now, but the piece I'm wearing right now is a piece I made, and it's a long sort of shirt dress with these balloon sleeves. I made it years ago. I don't remember the pattern number off the top of my head, but I'll put it here on the screen for you. And I think this over this style of top would look really good. So I kind of want to make another one of these as well in just like a solid black. I think that would work really well for this belt. So the next piece I made is another Sew It Academy piece. I was just going on an accessory tour on the Sew It Academy website. So that is this hobo bag from Sew It Academy. And I actually hoped to use what was left of the fabric I used for the belt, but I did not quite have enough to do this bag. So I thought, let me go back to the store. I'll just see if they happen to have more, even though I wasn't very hopeful of that, seeing as I got a remnant in the first place. But of course they didn't, but they did have this fabric, which is almost the same print, but it's a different material in a different color wave. And I actually like this even better. This color palette is so beautiful to me. So I found a really cool zipper pull at the store as well. It has this nice little leather sort of attachment to the top to make it comfortable. And then it is lined with this very soft sort of gold fabric that has sort of a texture to it. And I actually ran out of that material, so I ended up using the bag material for the interior pockets. There is also this attachment for your keys. And I would have rather just used the lining again, I think, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it that this is in here. It's just sort of a little peekaboo. But yeah, that was more of an accident, which was weird because I bought the same amount of fabric for both, and I believe they were in the same width of fabric. So I don't, maybe they just got cut slightly differently where I didn't have enough of this left, but either way, I really had fun making this too. I would make more of these in other materials, and I have actually been carrying this. So I real quick had to take things out. I didn't realize when I started to show you the inside that there was actually stuff in there. So I've gotten a lot of use out of this too. So really fun make. So this next make I am really proud of because it is my first pair of self-drafted pants. I'm on a mission this year to learn pattern making so that I can actually bridge the gap from sewing to fashion design. I have always wanted to learn fashion design from a very young age, and I'm on a mission this year. That's what I'm trying to do. So I always have trouble with pants fitting me properly. I'm just not exactly perfectly proportioned because I tend to be smaller in the waist and quite hippier. So that was something I have always avoided pants patterns because I always run into trouble. So I was like, okay, that's it. We're going to learn these pants. So I took the Domestika course on something like perfect fitting trousers. I used some curtain fabric that I found at the thrift store. That I will never do again, but I got through it. And it was the project that I was mentioning took like 2 weeks in total, because by the time I self-drafted everything, because first I did the block for the trousers, drafted that, and then made adjustments to the block, well, to transfer to the final pattern. And in that, I had mentioned in my last makes video, which I'll leave linked overhead and down below, there is a discrepancy in the course on one of the measurements where the math that you are given, when you plug in her numbers that she has, her numbers don't come out correctly. So there's been some discrepancy in the boards, people all confused about that. And so I just went with what was given on the worksheet, because you know you have to do a lot of calculations to find the right measurements for your pants. I just stuck with the chart, and I wasn't sure whether that was going to work out or not, but I'm happy to say I think it did, because they fit really, really well. So if you decide to take this course, there's just one measurement you're going to come to and you're going to be really confused. Just follow the chart. Just follow the chart. Ignore, don't worry about her number. Just worry about your number and the chart, and you will be fine. So these are the trousers here. And it does have a fly front, which was my first time doing that. And if I do say so myself, it came out really, really well. There is a button, although I think when I make another pair, now that I know that they worked so well, I will probably do like a hook closure instead, because I think I just prefer the look of that. There's darting along the back, darting along the front, and pockets, nice deep pockets. Yeah, I just really like it. I liked the print on this curtain fabric that I found. I don't know how well it's going to show up. It's like a little diamond pattern down the front, and they are pink, which I really, really enjoy. And yeah, I'm really excited to make another pair of these. So yeah, I got a mocha colored sort of a slack, type of material that I want to make the next pair in, and really, really happy with how these came out. Especially, like I said, by the time I was done, I had like 13 pattern pieces I drafted, plus the 2 block pieces, and then sewing this, learning the fly front, and then also just having to work with this material. This material was not easy to work with. So very, very proud of these. And probably pants aren't the easiest place to start self-drafting. These are the first thing I've self-drafted. So yes, if you want the challenge, start with pants. All right, the next piece that I made, which is technically not finished, and I will explain why in a minute, is this pattern Amour cowl neck top. I love almost all cowl necks. There are a few out there that I don't like the style of when they get really dramatic, but in general, a nice subtle cowl neck is just, I think it's so flattering on so many people, pretty much everybody. So big fan of that. I made it in this solid black poly satin, and it does have a bow on one shoulder. And the reason this is not done yet, you'll see I haven't hemmed the bottom, is because when I tried it on, it really does not fit. It needs some major adjustments, and I know what to do, so I'm gonna work on it here over this next week, but I don't know whether that adjustment will do enough or if I need to go a size up as well. But the problem is the arm side is really high on this pattern, and what it's causing is the bust to kind of like fold up and scrunch up and get stuck up at the bust. So I need to make this arm side adjustment and see how much ease that's going to add to the bust once this is the correct length. And once I make that adjustment, then I will, have a better idea of how much more or little work it needs, or if that will do the trick. But you will see video of it on the dress form here, on my smaller dress form, and it looks beautiful. I'm absolutely obsessed with this pattern, and I wasn't sure how I felt about the fact that the tie on the shoulder was not part of the strap at first, but the more I thought about it, I think I like it because it gives me versatility. I could do a white bow, I could change the color, I can swap things out. So if I can get this finished the way that I want it finished, I would probably make quite a few of these, because I could see wearing several of these. I have a pink that I will make, and I want to do kind of a cream or a winter white as well. And I could swap any of those bows out with, each other. So really Love this. It's just not perfected yet. And I've got quite a bit to pick out, so I'll be working on that over a TV show this week. All right, and the last two pieces I sewed this month are the same skirt in different fabrics. It is the Studio Rosado Pia jersey skirt. And it's a really, I mean, this is something you can whip up in an hour or two. And I think for spring and summer, oh my gosh, I love it because it's a stretch and I can just easily pull it on and it looks great. So it's just a stretch midi skirt. It kind of comes to that, length between the ankle and the knee. This one is in a local fabric. So far, everything has either been a local fabric or from the thrift store. So this is also another local fabric. It's a stretch fabric, and it's a fabric I kept going to. Every time I went to the fabric store, I was drawn to this fabric. I didn't know why. I didn't have a reason for it. So I just kept looking at it. Probably 7 or 8 times I've been to the store, I go to this fabric. Well, this time I had a reason. I was looking for something to make as a late Valentine's outfit because we had to celebrate late this year, which is also why I ended up with the black poly satin, because I decided they didn't really have what I originally envisioned, but I saw this again and I thought, I could just get black poly satin, go for a black and white look, and this is what I ended up making. Now, I think I figured out why I was so drawn to this material, because once I got it done, I said, I know what it is. If you look at this, it looks like coffee beans. So my mind just always goes back to coffee, and that's how I think we ended up with this. But it has a nice slit up the side, and it's a great skirt, especially this material. I feel like reads very expensive, even though it's just a stretch. That's what I love about this fabric. It just reads expensive, even though it's just a stretch fabric. So stretches right on. It took me about an hour to sew. I do have to make some adjustments to this as well. I just kind of set it aside because I knew the poly satin top was going to take quite a bit of time to pick out. And this one just needs to be taken in. I think what happened is the stretch that the pattern calls for is a little less stretchy than this one. So I think I need to size down. I'm just gonna have to take it in at the sides and a little bit down into the hip, but not much, mostly right up here at the waistband. And so when I made the second one, I went ahead and sized down and it fits perfectly. So I am going to adjust this because I absolutely love it. I can't wait to wear this one. And I think as a set, it's probably one of the most true to my style aesthetic outfits that I have ever made. It's classic, it's feminine, it's kind of hugs the right places. That's what I tend to gravitate towards, is what I would consider a more elegant, sophisticated, and feminine style for the most part. I mean, I enjoy a little bit of everything, but what I would gravitate towards the most, this outfit, is pretty right on point. And the last piece I made, like I said, is another of this skirt, but it is in this material here, which is a stretch from Joann's. Pour one out for Joann's. You guys, I'm really sad about that. I won't get into a rant about it, but I'm very, very sad about that. And this is kind of, it almost looks like a painting. I love the tones in this. I always like things that kind of have that painted look. I've always gravitated towards that in a print as well. Again, you have your side slit here, and this one really fits absolutely perfectly. The reason too that I'm waiting to fix the other skirt is because I ordered a really nice foot from the Husqvarna line, because I hadn't really had the right walking foot. So I went ahead and ordered that because I haven't done a ton with stretch, and now it's time, and I think I will be doing more. So that's on the way. So when that gets here, I will fix that this next month as well. All right, and that brings me to the last thing that I'm going to share with you from this month, which is something a bit unique. Now, I am essentially going to treat the next couple years like I am putting myself through fashion design school. I really, really want to learn this stuff. So I have kind of self-enrolled in things online and gotten a couple key books to really try to achieve that goal. I know going to school is different, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm getting as close to that as I can. Part of that is learning to sketch my own designs. So let me tell you, I'm a very creative person, but drawing is definitely the the talent that skipped right over me in the creative department. So this is a bigger challenge to me than anything in the sewing room, is learning to sketch designs. But I think as I learn to pattern make, it's going to be really helpful to have ideas that are in my head on paper that I can refer back to and figure out how to translate that into a pattern. So I'll show you my little sketches. This is from also Sew It Academy has sort of a brief introductory lesson on fashion sketching. So I started off making these 9 head figure sketches. These are just kind of the bare bones of your fashion figures. So it started here. Then from there we practiced like hands, feet, faces. Now these are really stripped down because as they were talking about in fashion sketches, that's not the focal point. So it's not like you have to have perfect hands, perfect feet. It's just generally getting the shaping down. So here are my attempts at hands and feet. And then we've got faces and eyes. And then you did a more formal version of the 9 head figure, which then turned into more of an actual figure, which it needs some fixing. The shoulder's a little scary. And then these are not anything I designed. These are just going over what she did in the class. But these are sort of my little final attempts at sketches. These are my first 2. I mean, I didn't take any art school, okay? I took basic elementary school art, maybe 1 mandatory class in high school. That is it, okay? I don't know about shading. I don't know about the different mediums. I don't know how to use any of that. So this is not great, but it is a starting point. And originally I was like, I don't even know if I want to share these anywhere, which I ultimately did, but I just thought about it and I thought, you know, if anyone else out there is interested in getting into the design part of things, here's the thing is we're not perfect, right? There's always going to be something we struggle with. So I want to be brave enough to share what I'm struggling with. This is it. Sketching. This is the hardest thing in this room for me right now, for sure. But you know what? I got to do it. I got to learn. I want to get better. I'm not going to be Picasso. I'm not going to be Rembrandt or Monet or any of those people. I just want to get decent at this one thing. Just fashion sketches. That's it. So we're working on that this year. I bought some watercolor markers too because I really like the look of that on sketches. So I think that'll probably be more the direction I go with my sketches once I can figure that out. But I am just proud of myself for doing it, and I am also getting deeper into that too. There's some other classes I'm in now, another book I ordered for this, so I'm working on it. I'm going to try to sketch most days throughout the year because that's the only way I'm going to get any better. So that is everything that I made for this month. I'm pretty happy with it because I feel like there's a lot of variety. I've got a self-drafted pant, I've got accessories, I've got sketches, I've got things I followed from a pattern, so it was a really well-rounded month. I would like to do something similar next month, but I have a list for my goals for next month, which I will probably do a video on, and it's a long list. So I already know that I might be biting off more than I can actually chew, but it's going to be an exciting month for sure. So look out for that video when I post it. It will probably be the one after this. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you had any favorite items from this month's makes, what you're making right now in the sewing room. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.